What's up YouTube, Mentored One here. Experiment result number 2 from Darwin Pond. We're at 480,000 ticks. Quite a few away, and the last time we had these seahorse type creatures that were evolving. Let's take a look and see what we got going on here. Looks like the same type of creatures, some more color variation now. But it looks like it. We're going to call these the seahorses. I think I'm going to save a version of these here. They seem to be doing pretty well. Alright, so we'll save these. Put them in my prototype file. We'll call them the seahorses. We'll put that guy back. I don't see a lot of variation now. It looks like a pretty, aside from color, it looks like we got a pretty homogeneous type of gene pool going on here. Oh, these are pretty aggressive moving right here. See these? I'm gonna save a version of these two. These we'll call these seahorses 2. They seem to be moving a little bit quicker than the other ones. Maybe that's the mutated species that's going to take over, who knows. Yeah, if we zoom out and we take a look at the color, we can see those new faster ones up there, a couple of variations, but it's pretty homogeneous overall, and they're definitely all the seahorse type species, just a matter of how fast they're moving. And these appear to be very aggressive. These yellow, green, and blue, wow, they're moving real quick. So I'm gonna bet that when we come back and take a look at this in the next experiment results, we may see a lot of these fast moving seahorse type mutants going on here. I was going to introduce an invasive species on this experiment, but I'm going to wait and see how these new colored species do. As you can see, the food kind of diminished. It went from quite a few hundred pieces of food down to less than 100, and the population is almost maxed out. And in the graph here you can see the green represents the food supply, the white represents the population. So as they definitely as they consumed all the food, the population went up. We'll see what happens. It looks like these traditionally colored seahorses have quite the monopoly on the food source right now, but I think they're going to destroy it. And that's when these faster moving ones, which are already branching out over here, they're chasing down the food that's further out. They might have the advantage. We'll see. So we'll see if these traditional colored seahorses, the yellow and the pink, or these yellow, green, and blue ones end up being the successors here, with the food supply diminishing rapidly. I may tweak the ecology here. Let's see what we got going on. No, we're gonna leave it all in the middle just to keep the stock experiment going on, and we'll see how this plays out. And I do have an invasive species that I'm going to introduce from a previous lab at some point, and see how whatever evolves here can hold up to a very aggressive snake-like species that evolved in another pond. They're very impressive. They move like an eel and everything, but we'll check those out later. And it already looks like these yellow, green, and blue ones are moving in real fast over here. You can see them already. Quite a few of them. They're really moving quick, going after that food very aggressively. I have seen from doing this program quite a bit, there is variation in how much they stick together, how aggressively they go after food, like how far they can see the food. I don't know how much of a variation there is in the programming, but I've seen, that makes the biggest difference. Some will chase food farther away than others, and obviously the faster one will get to it first. Like a little race that went on. So these aggressive ones, they're slow at turning, but they seem to be extremely fast on a straightaway. yeah, we'll come back and visit this in a while. The food has spread over to the other side of the pond now where there's nobody eating it, and that's going to really dictate. I'm betting the faster movers are going to get there quickly and start reproducing. There's already a pair down here chasing the food. There's already 2 or 3 over here, 2 or 3 over here. They might, look at this group here, already coming across the middle. I got a feeling that we're going to see this color be dominant here the next time we check on this experiment. So until then, fellow nerds, if you've been watching, you'll see that this is quite a fun experiment, and we're going to keep going with this one, see how it turns out. And when we get a clear, evolved destructo machine here, maybe we'll introduce a new species that has proven to destroy everything else I've put it in the experiment with. It's pretty aggressive, but we'll check it out later on. Until then, thanks for watching. Good night.